Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today we are jumping right into some really fascinating research from Dr. Angela Duckworth, all about grit. You know, it's one of the single most powerful predictors of success out there. So let's just dive in.
Seriously, think about that for a second. What if you could actually glimpse what excellence looks like in your life? I'm not talking about some superstar athlete or a certified genius. I'm talking about you, right here, right now. And according to Dr. Duckworth's work, this isn't some fantasy. It is absolutely possible. And it all boils down to understanding one key idea.
And here it is, the big definition. Grit is passion and perseverance for long-term goals. Now, it sounds pretty straightforward, right? But those two words, passion and perseverance, they are everything. This isn't about a quick burst of energy. Nope, it's about a commitment that lasts.
So let's be real. When most of us hear grit, we immediately think of talent, right? Or maybe some kind of born-with-it toughness. But here's the kicker, and the research is crystal clear on this. Grit has absolutely zero to do with talent. So what in the world is it then?
Okay, so think of it like a recipe with two essential ingredients. First up is passion. This is about loving something and, crucially, staying in love with it. It's like having a compass, a North Star that guides you for years and years. And the second ingredient? Perseverance. That's the combo of just plain old hard work and, that ability to get back up when you get knocked down. Because you will get knocked down.
And this is where we tackle one of the biggest myths about success. We are obsessed with talent, aren't we? We put it on this huge pedestal, and in doing so, we totally overlook the one thing we actually have control over, our effort. Dr. Duckworth's research totally flips this idea on its head with a new formula for success.
All right, let's really break this down. Talent, that's just how fast you get better at something when you try. It's the speed of your learning. But effort, that's the fuel. It's how much time and energy you pour in, how hard you push, and for how long. See? They're totally different things.
Okay, get ready for this, because this is the big one. This is the key takeaway. Effort counts twice. Let that sink in. Here's how it works. Your natural talent plus your effort, that gives you a skill. But you're not done. You then have to take that skill and apply even more effort to it to get a real-world achievement. That's why effort is literally twice as important as talent. It's huge.
Now here's the best news of all. Grit isn't some magical trait you either have or you don't. Not at all. It's something you can build. You can grow it on purpose. And it's built on these 4 psychological pillars that, really, anyone can work on.
All right, so here's the game plan. We're going to look at interest, practice, purpose, and hope. These are the 4 building blocks. Let's get into the first one.
You know, we have this idea that passion just hits you out of the blue like a bolt of lightning. But it almost never works that way. It starts way smaller, as just a little spark of interest, a bit of curiosity. The biggest mistake we make? Trying to sit in a room and think our way into a passion. The science says that's backwards. You have to get out there and do things. You got to try stuff, sample experiences. It's like food. You can't know if you like it until you taste it.
Okay, so you've been tasting a few things and you've found an interest. Awesome! Now comes pillar number 2, practice. This is where you go from, this is kind of cool, to, I want to get better at this. Now, I'm sure you've all heard about the 10,000-hour rule, right? Well, the secret isn't just putting in the time. It is all about the quality of that time. And there's a name for it, deliberate practice.
And here's the playbook for that high-quality practice. 3 steps. Step 1, set a super specific goal. Don't just say, get better at guitar. Say, master the F chord transition. Usually you want to target a weakness. Step 2, give it 100% of your focus. Phone off, notifications muted, pure concentration. And step 3, get feedback immediately. Figure out what worked and what didn't, so you can tweak your approach and go again. That is the loop that creates real skill.
So, interest got you in the door. Practice is making you better. But what happens when you hit a wall? What keeps you going when it gets hard and frustrating? That's where pillar number 3 comes in. Purpose. This is the belief, deep down, that what you're doing matters, and not just to you. It's about connecting your work to something bigger, something that helps other people.
There's this great old story that illustrates this perfectly. 3 bricklayers are asked what they're doing. The first one says, I'm laying bricks. That's a job. The second says, I'm building a church. That's a career. He sees the bigger project. But the third one? He says, I'm building the house of God. Now that is a calling. He's connected his tiny, everyday action to a massive purpose. And what's so powerful is that this is all about mindset. It has nothing to do with the actual job you have. And that brings us to our fourth and final pillar, hope. Now, hold on, this is not the I hope I win the lottery kind of hope. It's not wishful thinking. The kind of hope that fuels grit is all about agency. It's the rock-solid belief that you can improve your future with your own two hands. It's knowing that your efforts today will make a difference tomorrow. Okay, so what do you do on those days when you feel totally hopeless, when the goal just seems impossible? Well, the best coaches in the world have some great advice. You need to reframe it. That feeling of being overwhelmed, it doesn't mean the task is impossible, it just means it's too big right now. So what do? You act like your own Olympic coach. You take that giant goal and you break it down into tiny, almost laughably small, winnable steps.
All right, this next idea is one of my favorites from the research because it's so counterintuitive. We tend to think of gritty, successful people as these super intense, always on, 110% kind of people. But the truth is a lot quieter and way more effective.
And this quote from Michael Phelps's coach, Bob Bowman, just nails it. He said that guys like Phelps don't come in and give it 10 out of 10 every single day. They give an 8 out of 10. But, and this is the important part, they do it every single day. And when you stack up a whole bunch of 8 out of 10 days, wow, that's when you become something really special. It's all about that relentless consistency.
And you can see that idea right here. That one big bar for intensity. Yeah, it looks great for one day, but look at what happens when you just show up and put in a solid, consistent effort day after day. Those smaller bars add up to so much more over the course of a week. The real magic is just in the showing up. A little bit of effort done consistently beats a massive effort done once in a while, every time.
Whew, okay, so we've talked about what grit is, how to build it with those 4 pillars, and this huge idea of consistency over intensity. That's a lot, but none of it matters if we don't put it into practice, right? So let's wrap this up by making it super actionable.
Here's something really cool about top performers. They almost never try to improve everything all at once. It's too much. Instead, they pick one small thing and they focus on that. So I'm going to ask you, thinking about everything we just went over, what is your one next step? What's the one thing you can start with?
Seriously, just one thing. Maybe for you, that one thing is trying out that class you've been curious about just to see if you like it. Or maybe it's taking a skill you already have and applying those 3 steps of deliberate practice to it for just 15 minutes. Heck, maybe it's just trying not to say the word should for the rest of the day. The what isn't as important as the one. Don't get overwhelmed, just pick one thing.
And I want to leave you with this one last little story from Dr. Duckworth herself. She talks about a really tough day she was having with her daughter, Amanda. It was frustrating, one of those days. And that night, she was tucking her in, and she said, "Amanda, you have been trying so hard." And her little girl just looked back at her and said, "Mommy, we're all trying." And wow, she's so right. This whole grit thing, it's not about being perfect. It's just about the trying. That's what matters.
Hey, thanks so much for digging into this with us. We'll catch you on the next Explainer.